Man tutorials. How to identify a woman. The thing is, there's a difference between obviously a woman and a female. Right? A woman is a mature female. A female that got some experience, got some knowledge, some information that allows her to understand the difference between being mature versus immature, right? And giving up a lot of the childish behaviors, because a female is typically immature. That means she has the body of a grown woman, right? She's an adult, but mentally she still thinks like a child, right? She still thinks like a teenager, and that's how it is for most people in society right now. Most males and females still mentally think the same way they thought when they were younger. A lot of times that makes them stubborn, right? That makes it where they're not willing to learn new things or listen to what people are saying and improve themselves in that regards, right? They tend to be more opinionated, less, open-minded. So let's start off well, there's two things. There's the mental aspect of being a woman and then the physical aspect of being a woman. So let's start off with the mental, because the physical can vary. You can, it's because mental is software. The physical is the hardware, right? It's the body, and the body can obviously vary. If you're with a lady that likes to dress provocative, she can still be a woman. She's just dressed provocative, right? So that's debatable there. But so mentally, we want to. She needs feminine, right? That's definitely nowadays with females being against being feminine. Then obviously, if you meet a lady and she is feminine, then clearly she's more of a woman than if she wasn't. So that's an indicator that she's a woman. Feminine, first and foremost, right? Secondarily, she wants to agree with you. The difference between a woman and a female is that a female wants you to agree with her. So it's her way or the highway, basically, right? Right? So that's why she'll argue with you, because she wants you to agree with her. She wants you to do what she wants to do, right? Believe what she wants to believe, and the list goes on, right? Which, if you think about it, is typical of a child, right? A child wants what they want. They tend to be more selfish. So a female would be way more selfish than a woman. A woman would be less selfish. She'll want something. Don't get me wrong. Women are still selfish. That's nature for them. That's natural. But they appreciate the benefits of being selfless. Right? So they're willing to be selfless in a selfish way, because they know by being selfless, they're going to get a benefit out of it. So they'll be more selfless than selfish. Selfish, tends to create many problems, especially when you're not willing to, especially stubborn selfishness. See, women know about non-stubborn selfishness, where they understand sometimes they got to give in order to receive, right? They can't just keep trying to take, right? They can't keep expecting to get everything they want and give nothing in return, right? So that's one of the differences between a woman and a female. Right? So she wants to agree with you. Like I said, she wants to agree with you. So she's interested in what you have to say, and she wants to learn as much about you as possible, because she already knows herself. So she's gonna, so logically she's going to care less about herself, right? Because she already knows herself. She's more interested in getting to know you. She's interested in you, right? She wants to know more about you so she can better communicate with you, better get along with you, right? So that also goes with she wants to do what you want to do, and she wants to do it with you, right? So she doesn't want to do what you're doing in a competitive sense. Like she wants to do the same thing you're doing because she wants the end results that you're getting. You know, what she wants is to be involved in whatever you're doing. So if you're playing football, she wants to be involved in it. If you're going to the beach to swim, she wants to be involved with that, right? Like she wants to do what you're doing. She's interested in your hobbies, right? And that's always a good thing to have somebody who's interested in your interests, right? So that goes to being selfless as opposed to being selfish. And she benefits from it, especially if what you're doing is something she's never done before. Like she's never been on a yacht and never traveled. Well, she'll want to get on a yacht. She'll want to travel. I'm not saying females won't be interested in that. Just saying that, you know, that's not going to be the only thing. Like the whole wanting to do what you do is not just like materialistic, like traveling the world, you know, going shopping or some shit like that for expensive stuff. Obviously, you know, even something as cheap as you know, playing video games or something like that, right? Per se, you know what I'm saying, like, or you know, playing, you know, getting a deck of cards and playing, you know, Go Fish or something. Like she'll be down for that because she just likes the time and attention and the fact that she's spending time with you, especially if she doesn't know how to play Go Fish for some reason, right, or blackjack or something, and you teach her, she's interested, right? So that's what you want. So that's a good mental quality for a woman to have. She believes in gender roles, right? You know, she's not against sharing responsibilities, right? Sharing the idea of, you know, she'll help, you know, carry heavy things from time to time. You know, she'll help, you know, she'll clean, but she also will appreciate if you help clean. Like there's a level of appreciation for, you know, cross training basically, or cross working, right? Where y'all take turn doing stuff, right? Doing the other person's workload basically, right? Sharing workload. There you go. But she understands this, like she knows her strengths and her weaknesses, and she knows that she's shorter than you. She's not as strong as you, so she'll leave the heavier, higher, you know, height-related activities to you. Right? So anything that requires your strength and your height, she'll leave it up to you. She won't be thinking like, I can do it, when she actually can't, right? Because if she has to go get a ladder to go reach for something, it was better just to let you do it, right? That way you can be useful to her, you know, that way you can be useful because you are taller and so forth and so forth, right? Logical stuff. So she respects the gender roles, right? And she's not trying to step on your toes, right? She understands that in your car, you drive, she's in the passenger side, right? You drive, she navigates, right? Not that she, you know, trying to drive your car, right? You know, she won't be against it if you offer, but she doesn't expect to when you're going into the car that she's driving, right? Logically. So she, you know, understands gender roles. Then processing quickly, you know, information, right? Through her feelings and doesn't dwell on her feelings, right? That's a very mature woman thing to do, right? Very mature female thing to do is not to stay extremely emotional all the time. Understand, you know, how to process, basically have more self-control of your emotions, right? More emotional control, right? Emotional intelligence, as some of the ladies like to say, right? They're the ones who need it more than we do. But anyway, that's for a different conversation. Point is she processes information, because the way women typically work, you know, females typically work, is you'll say something, even if it was meant to be a compliment, they might feel like it was an insult, even though it was a compliment. And then they'll stay focused on that feeling way too much, and then they'll make a big deal about it. Instead of processing it real quick right? Okay, you felt like it was an insult when it wasn't an insult. Now it's time for you to go into your logic part of your brain, right? And start, you know, analyzing what was said and how it was said to truly determine if it was truly an insult or not. If it is an insult, obviously, deal with it, but don't deal with it childishly by throwing back an insult, because then that's just you being emotional, not logical, right? Because there could be a possibility that the insult was unintentional, it was accidental, so don't react as if it was deliberate, right? Like it was a malicious insult. It was a mistake, right? It was a misunderstanding, right? They misspoke, whatever reason that it happened, But that's the thing. A woman is mature enough to know that, she needs to not overreact based off of her emotions, right? Because humans' emotions tend to be more negative than positive. So immediately reacting to something because of your hurt or your negative emotion is never good. It's always a bad way of doing things. Reacting to something negatively is never good. Never good. So do better in controlling your negative emotions. Positive emotions is always good, but control your negative emotions, right? Now time for the physicality, right? Wear dresses, right? Because dresses was always attached to the idea of being feminine, right? Always been attached to being a woman thing. Women wear dresses. Men wear pants, right? Men wear the pants in a relationship, right? Women wear dresses. So if you're looking at a lady, attractive female, and she's not wearing a dress, or she's against wearing a dress, that's another indicator. If she's against wearing a dress, even if you suggest the idea like you would like to see her in a dress, and she has a problem with it, there's a big indicator she's a female, because she's against it. Not only that, there's other factors. There's other things that a little suspicious. The fact that if you're in a relationship with her and you wanted her to put on a dress and she's against it, well, not only is she not being feminine, right, not being a woman to be interested in doing so, she doesn't love you enough, or respect you enough, I should say. Respect. She doesn't respect you enough to do it for you, like to use you as the reason she'll do it. She might not like to wear dresses for her own personal, belief, opinions, whatever, right? But for you, she should do it. Especially if you're not asking her to do it all the time. It's just like, hey, we're going to my mom's house or something. Could you put on a dress? Get dressed up or something. That would be a nice favor. That would be a nice thing for you to do for me, right? But if they turn into a problem, there's some disrespect there. Secondly, there's a big indicator that she's not truly a woman, so she's very selfish, so she's against the idea of doing you a favor, which she shouldn't be against. But if she is, that's a problem. And you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't, want to do you favors from time to time, who doesn't want to make you happy, or doesn't want to, who deliberately goes out of their way to inconvenience you. Like refusing to do something that I'm asking for, to me is a sign of disrespect. It's like, oh, if you respected me, you would do it, but since you don't respect me, you're against the idea of doing it. Even though I'm asking you to do it for a reason. There's a reason I'm asking for it. I'm not asking for it for no reason. There's a reason for it. And if you're against it, then that means you're against me, and that's a problem, right? Then has reasonable curves. I don't want to say like skinny or anything like that. Reasonable curves, because big girls, there's nothing wrong with a woman being big in size. It's more about the shape, right? If it's not necessary like measurements per se. If it looks good, it looks good. A big, curvy woman it looks good as much as a smaller, thinner, curvy woman. The point is curves. How much curves, how little curves, that's subjective. But logically, females who are always about curves anyway. That's what separates them from us. Guys are supposed to be more V-shape, more box-like shape. Women are always supposed to be curvy, hourglass figure, a pear shape, whatever, right? Like lollipop shape or something, like big boobs, skinny body, right? like whatever, right? But curves, like there's different types of curves, right? But basically, you know, curves. So whatever is reasonable, whatever your preference is, but at least be curvy, right? Make sure you look good physically. Little to no tattoos, especially a lot of tattoos, is an indicator of issues. I've been able to confirm that many of times that if a female has a lot of tattoos, well, that's an indicator, one, she's a female, right? And she lets things affect her so much so that she just started getting tattoos. So, little to no plastic surgery. That's it's always good, right? Because think about it, logically, biologically, whatever enhancements she did with plastic surgery, it's not going to transfer over to your offspring. So, even though it might make her feel good, might look good and whatnot, it's not her. It's not real, right? It's not her genetic. It's not her natural state. So, to each their own. I mean, I'm not saying don't be with a woman, right, that has plastic surgery. Just saying little to no plastic surgery. Because usually if they're getting plastic surgery, especially certain types like BBLs, and they have OnlyFans and Instagram and whatnot, you pretty much know why they did that in the first place. So, a woman would not need to do that, right? It wouldn't be necessary. So that's to me an indicator of female. But in this day and age, unless she gets with a guy, they're living happily ever after type of situation. But you prefer natural anyway. You know what I mean? You want somebody to be their best, of course. Who doesn't, want to be their best? Who doesn't want to be with somebody who is at their best? But be at your best in your natural state, right? But to each their own. Just saying. Little to no makeup, right? Again, it's the whole genetic thing. Like, if you're genetically not like it doesn't translate over to your offsprings, and most of the attractiveness, right? Most of the beauty, most of the high quality genes of, good skin, right? Good skin, good hair, good quality eyesight, and so forth and so forth. A lot of the good physical qualities, which attributes to being attractive, tends to come from the mother, right? So her being naturally beautiful is preferred, right? Because, again, it's a reproduction thing, but also, hey, it's an aesthetic. If she looks good naturally, or at least if you like how she looks naturally, that's always a good thing. That's why it's unfortunate that a lot of ladies out here, even when they are naturally beautiful, they still put on makeup because society, right? Other females made them think that that's what they need to do. That's what they're supposed to do, when they actually didn't need it. I bet a lot of really beautiful women, who still wear makeup, probably was told by other females who are jealous of their beauty, of their natural beauty, that they had to wear makeup. So that way, it makes them equals, when in reality, no, she's your superior. She's naturally better looking than you, but you convince her to think that she's just like you. So wearing the same makeup as you, so y'all kind of look like twins. You see that nonsense online. Twinsies, we're twinsies, oh, we look the same. It's like, that's a problem. You're not supposed to look the same. You're supposed to look different. Be different, right? The fact that y'all trying to look the same is a problem. Especially with the idea that it's fake, right? Y'all trying to look the same because y'all want the same treatment, but y'all don't deserve the same treatment. Y'all deserve different treatment based off of, your true value. So that idea of every lady trying to look the same, trying to act the same, hoping for the same results, that's called insanity. No, you need to be different, and you're supposed to get different results. Your life is supposed to be different than someone else's based off of the things you do in your life, the people you interact with. That's why it's so funny when I hear ladies talk about being unique and different and special, when in reality, everything they do says the opposite. Everything they do is about being the same. I'm a 10, I'm a 10, she's a 10. We're perfect, I'm beautiful, she's perfect. Boo, boo, you're beautiful, I'm beautiful. Yeah, like all this lying to one another about y'all equals, y'all the same, when y'all not supposed to be. And y'all aren't. Guys are not going around saying, oh, we're the same, we're the same. Let's all act the same. Like, no. We're different in many ways. It's true that we are similar and we should be doing similar things, but we're not all the same, right? I can say, hey, guys, go to the gym, work out. I'm not saying y'all gonna get the same results, y'all gonna look the same, but I am saying go to the gym and you'll get something out of it. You'll get some benefit. It's gonna vary, it's gonna be different. Everybody's body ain't the same, but hey, at least we're all hitting the gym. We're all doing something beneficial. It benefits us as individuals, but then together as a group, every guy being strong is beneficial, because if, God forbid, something happens where, let's say a car rolled over or something, a whole bunch of strong guys who went to the gym can go roll that car over and save people's lives, right? Be able to drag people out of danger because we're strong. We don't have to look the same. We don't have to lift the same. We just gotta be stronger than we normally would be. And us working together, right, is better than us working apart. Common sense. So, and then low body count. It's like one of the last things you can think about, right? Obviously, it'd be hard to tell. Not impossible, but it'd be hard to tell. Obviously, this is dependent on their behavior or their willingness to be honest and open. But you know, when you're as experienced as I am, you can tell if their body count's high or low. There's certain indicators, certain behaviors. I mean, I've accurately predicted certain behavior traits, certain outcomes. Like I've predicted some chicks was going to do OnlyFans, and at first you wouldn't think so, because one of the funny, interesting things is two chicks that I know of in particular, their initial personality traits, like how they behave, was like quiet, shy, right? They're shy and quiet, right? And they seem nice and pleasant, and they seem like, average, right? But in reality, super freaks, right? And not having an issue with doing OnlyFans, right? Among other things. So I was able to accurately predict that. I was able to deduce that they're an LT girl and a good girl persona, right? A wolf in sheep's clothing, right? So I'm able to detect that, deduce that. Again, like I said, experience. So most of you guys need to level up and get those experiences, be able to tell that even when it looks like a woman, it acts like a woman, it talks like a woman, but it's a 304, right? The ability to tell the truth, right? To know the truth. But interesting enough, this is another thing about being a woman. She could be a lady in the streets, right? But a freak in the sheets, right? I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a super freak. I'm just saying if she's way too open about it publicly, that's an issue. Privately, yeah, she could be a freak. Nothing wrong with that. To each their own. I prefer that setup anyway, that out here in public, she'll act shy, quiet, modest, right? Respectable, act like a lady, right? Act like she has some self-respect. But in the bedroom, respect goes way out the window, and she's down for whatever, right? To each their own, right? And that'll be the end of it.